picked up 3 inches. This will be 3rd and 11.
3 inches hard-earned, ran 25 yards to gain 3 inches.
Alexis Kennedy said, and I'm sweating bullets, so are you, it's warm down there. Maybe that injury gave the Dragons defense a breather as well.
Well, and their defensive line, the Dragon defensive line rotates 3 or 4 guys anyway.
Yep.
But today, in this heat, they're going to have to make sure that they stay fresh up front.
3rd and 11 for Hunter Troutman and this Wolves offense. It's a quarterback draw, and Troutman can't get away. Terrific job by Hunter Sal, who smelled it from the beginning, and he made the tackle.
Sal,
6'3" out of Central Cass. That's 20 miles from here. That's good football, too.
He played for the Squirrels out there. Had some really good coaching out there.
This is Mitch Schockert, and he's going to try a 34-yard field goal. It was breezy, a lot breezier earlier today, but not much of a factor right now. That's blocked. This is a loose football, and the Dragons have it. Coming on the near side is Shadvita. That guy's already had himself a day.
This is conference player of the week type of playing. Unbelievable. Now I'm not sure he made the block, and I'm guessing we're going to.
I think it was Casey Paskey. Yep, 37. I think it was Casey Paskey.
Casey Paskey in the middle, and Veda was able to pick it up, and then has the right mind and has the great eyes to look to cut it back all the way across the field to pick up an extra 15, 20 yards on the return.
So the Dragons start at midfield. They've started 2 drives in Northern State territory. 1st and 10, this is Simons. And he can't escape Preston Dressler from behind, an outside linebacker, a junior out of Cuba City, Wisconsin.
On that play, a little breakdown on the right side by the guard and the tackle. Actually, they just got blown up by the defensive line of the Wolves. The Wolves took them to task right there, and Simons had no room to run.
2nd and 10. Sinani, shoulder fake, fire, bullseye, and then a couple extra yards for good measure. That's Ryan Harvey Turner, just a freshman out of Milwaukee. The Dragons have high hopes for him.
That was a nice route that he ran, and he boxed his guy out. There wasn't a chance for the defender to make a play on that ball. Great delivery by Sinani.
Sinani throwing. Incomplete. He was looking for Jake Richter, who's been his favorite target. Boy, Steve Lockway told me a couple of weeks ago he has a chance to be great. He's already been great this year. Right,
and Esef for the Northern State Wolves had really great coverage on that. In fact, I'm seeing a little more hand play in the first few games here of the season, Steve, in the defensive backfield, that the referees aren't so concerned with just a little bit of pushing and shoving.
Bresnahan forgot the ball. My old broadcaster from 2006 to 2009, Mike Larson, he called that chicken fighting. I like that. Throw a flag. Let boys be boys.
But the last couple of years, any touches out there, the offensive player was getting the benefit of the doubt, and a lot of pass interference calls were made.
I like chicken fighting. 3rd and 10 for the Dragons. 2:38 remaining first quarter. The Dragons lead it. Simons! Gone! Zach Simons, his 2nd touchdown today, this of the 29-yard variety, and the Dragons increase their lead.
Nice job by the offensive line, Steve, up front. That looked like a cutback, something in the old days when we played, we called it cutback, because the defensive line was over pursuing, and on that play, Simons was able to just cut right back, right behind Gerdig.
Ethan Gerbig just made a blow-up block, and then Simons having some fun in the end zone. This is Chesvold. Another PAT. Good snap and hold. And look at this. 2:32 remaining in the first quarter from Steamy Moorhead. It's the Dragons 14, Northern State nothing.
Dragon Swim School is proud to offer year-round swimming and diving lessons with the lowest student-to-instructor ratio around. Lessons are available for all levels, including parent-child sessions and preschool. Help your child learn to love the water in a safe and caring environment with us at Dragon Swim School. Visit msumdragons.com/swim for more information. That's msumdragons.com/swim.
Hey, Don, how about a blocked field goal and then 5 plays, 85 yards later, Zach Simons goes in from 29. I think that's a little old.
Yeah, I think it's 59 yards.
Nope, they started right on the 50-yard line.
There you go.
They started right at midfield. That's 5 plays, 50 yards. Either way, impressive after the blocked field goal.
Oh, no doubt. The offensive line did their job, and with that cutback, it really, really put the Wolves on notice that the running game for the Dragons is hot today.
This is Dakota Larson. That's another short kick. Maybe they want to keep the ball away. They know how dangerous Zach Callbreath is, so they made sure they got it to Dakota Larson. And the Dragons are just fine with the Wolves starting at the 30-yard line.
Well, that's a nice high kick. And, in fact, a lot of those nowadays are being fair caught.
Yeah.
Just because of the head injury thing.
The Dragons with 111 yards of total offense. Northern State 47. Troutman has thrown an interception, and the Wolves have had a field goal blocked. The Dragons have been opportunistic when they've had their chances. This is Shaka Kelly, and he is going nowhere as he gets grabbed and thrown backwards by your guy, Darius Woods-Steichen, the sophomore defensive end out of Monoman, Minnesota.
Gotta like Steichen. He's a hard-working kid playing defensive end, slides down. He goes right through a gap to make that play. And the defensive line right now, Steve, is doing their job along with the linebackers, keeping them live, and the running game is nowhere to be seen for the Wolves.
Troutman rolling to his left, getting chased by Matt Show, and Troutman makes a little bit out of nothing. Good pursuit that time by Show out of Winona, Minnesota. Steve Lockway said he's a Lockway guy. So if you're a guy that the head coach likes, you've got maybe a point over some other people.
He looks like he's got good wheels, and he played his position pretty darn well there on the defensive side of the ball. I guess you're going to earn your play. Doesn't matter if you're a guy or not. You got to earn it.
Troutman earns a first down as he got away from Matthew Domick, and now one of the Dragons is hurt. Is that Domick? Somebody's hurt. It was Matthew Domick who was pursuing Hunter Troutman. Oh no, it's Derek Porzinski. I thought it was Domick, 44. It might have been 94. Maybe Alex Nelson up in the booth can roll this replay, as it is Porzinski, 94, who is down.
And a real stalwart for that defensive line. He plays all over the place, up and down the line, sideline to sideline, and he's in quite a bit of pain out there.
Promotional Solutions is a collection of marketers, creators, designers, finance guys, and fangirls with a passion for good products and design. They strive every day to live up to their namesake by creating awesome promotional solutions. Visit Promotional Solutions for all of your promo product, apparel, and marketing needs at promotingus.com. While Derek Porzinski gets worked on, we'll step away.
This is Dragons Live.
With everything that happens in a day, it's nice to have options. That's why we're making it easier for you to get news that fits your schedule.
WDAY WDAZ News, first on at 4.
Working hard to bring you more breaking news throughout the region and weather that will impact your area, all at a time that works for you. The first in the region, your trusted team, keeping you informed when you need to know most.
WDAY WDAZ News, first on at 4.
One of the best things that we just saw today was Derek Porzinski pop up and not only walk off the field under his own power, he sprinted off of the field. First and 10 Here's a reverse. Dakota Larson has it. Dakota Larson down the far sideline. Sal trips him up. Some tomfoolery by Northern State earns them 22 yards and a first down.
Their running game was seeing nothing, so they had to resort to some trickery, as you put it, to get somebody loose, and Larson did a nice job. The kid out of Nevada, yeah, he's got some wheels.
Yeah, was that Paskey chasing him? Either way, the quarterback was out there. Troutman nudged him, but he still made the tackle. Under a minute remaining here in the first quarter. Low snap, Troutman faking, now throwing long. And that's incomplete. I don't know whether that was chicken fighting or DeAndre Taylor and Zach Culbreth might have just gotten their feet crossed.
Yeah, their feet got tangled up, both of them looking back for the ball. DeAndre, nice position on that on the inside shoulder.
That's what you call stride for stride, isn't it?
Even after the head fake, shoulder fake.
Yeah, Culbreth went down. That's not interference. 2nd and 10, Dragon 30-yard line. Troutman throws, Culbreth again, and he cannot get away from Taylor. Makes a good one-on-one tackle.
Great open field tackle by DeAndre. Great recognition. He had to plant as he was backpedaling. He had to plant that back foot and get back to that receiver and make that tackle. No gain after the throw.
3rd and 5. Is this 4-down territory? They're down 14-0. Kick's already been blocked.
Before the other attempt for the field goal, Steve, I was kind of gesturing with my hand as I was watching their kicker during warm-ups, and he kicked really line drive.
I saw him with the win. He could hit from 50. End of the first quarter, we go downstairs to Alexis Kennedy. Alexis?
Thanks, guys. Down here with Athletic Director Doug Peters. Doug, we're celebrating 100 seasons of Dragon football, 50 seasons of Dragon volleyball. What does that mean to MSUM?
You know, I think it just gives us a chance to look at the long, successful history of our athletic department. We had a volleyball celebration last night, and just the stories the different players and coaches told, and the strength and the success that our programs have had, it's just awesome.
Amazing. Also, we have celebrations afterwards. Doug, what's happening after the game?
Well, we've got 2 events left. Tonight, we've got the Johnny Holm Band down at the Brick House in South Moorhead. Social hour starts after the game, and then the band starts at 7. Somebody should come out for that. We've got a soccer game tomorrow at 1. Then I just also throw out there, homecoming weekend, 11:30, Nemzik Hall. We'll have our celebration of Dragon football.
Awesome. Thanks, Doug. Steve, Don.
Alexis, great job. When I think of social hour, there's no one better in the business than you.
Oh, come on now.
You played for the Dragons 30 years ago. What did it mean to you for this celebration and playing for MSUM?
Well, 100 years of action, 100 years, 100 seasons. I think it's fantastic that we're actually celebrating it, and I'm hopeful that there's a lot of former players that are going to be here today. And Alexis, thank you for your interview with Doug there. That was excellent. And I'll tell you what, I remember in '86 we had the 100th anniversary of the school. And now we've got 100 years of football being played here.
It's really neat, and I know the athletic department, this is one of their really, really big, important, this is an important night at MSU Moorhead. I'm glad the weather's cooperating. 4th down. The Dragons saw something, but Northern State didn't like the way they lined up. 14-19 remaining. Second quarter, Dragons lead at 14-0. Northern State appears they'll go for it after this on a 4th and 2.
Prosperity is today's investment in tomorrow's promise. The promise of a better way of life. With every act of kindness, every act of creation, and with every act of love, we strengthen our community. And when we stand together as a community, we accomplish the impossible. We can choose to pass through life, or we can choose to pass on a better way of life.
Dragon fans, Matt Buss has been serving the Fargo-Moorhead area since 1974, and new from Matt Buss is Link FM. It's the fun, fast, and free way to get around downtown. For more information, go to www.mattbus.com. Try it today. Go green. Ride Matt Buss. It's 4th and 2 for Northern State. Field goals aren't going to win this game at this point for Northern, so they're going to go for it on 4th and a deuce. It's Shaka Kelly. He gets stopped. I think it was Show that grabbed him, and the Dragons are going to take over on downs.
Great job by the defensive line and the linebackers as they just stepped up and stymied that whole play. It did not get off the ground at all. Matt Show did a nice job of blowing that up.
Yep. Sorry, Don. He just popped
Oh,
in there
yeah.
and made his presence felt.
Oh, for sure. No push by their offensive line either. Not like we have seen from the Dragons. The Dragons have been on the offensive line getting a great push.
So the Dragons take over 1st and 10. In fact, Shaka Kelly lost a half a yard. Here's Bresnahan in space. All they're saying is beat one guy, and we'll watch the young man run. He'll get taken down here by Preston Dressler. Does this look like 60-7 from I think the Dragons have flushed it.
Well, yeah, they put it in the rearview mirror and or flush it down the toilet for sure. They're playing really good ball today.
Colgrove, and he gets blasted. That's Chase Tyken, a guy you're familiar with out of West Fargo.
Yeah, and really a tough linebacker. That kid played great ball for the West Fargo Packers.
That's Jake Gibson out there still, isn't it? He's been there a long time. This is 3rd down. Sinani, what a fake! And he'll slide down. He'll get kissed at the 44-yard line. That's twice today that kid, Sinani, the reason why he got all the yards was because of his head fake. That's discipline.
Head fake and that read option piece of that play right there where he put it in the belly of the running back, was able to pull it up because there was enough of a line for him to go.
And now they fake it, and Sinani wants it all. Going for Richter. Got it! Has that kid been sensational so far this year or what?
Excellent. He is really coming into his own. Now, he got 2 years ago as a freshman, he got, kind of pushed into play right away as a true freshman, and maybe wasn't strong enough yet. I see a different player this year, Steve. He has strength. He's got knowledge. He knows how to go get the ball.
He went and got the ball that time. He went up, timed it perfectly, and now the Dragons have a 1st and goal from the 8. This is Bresnahan trying to get around Etienne Ezef, and he does! Touchdown, MSU Moorhead. That's why they love to get Grady Bresnahan in space.
And you put him in a tandem with Jake Richter out there on the perimeter. Jake Richter, a big body kid, and also very athletic, was able to put a nice block out there on that edge. Just enough of a block to hold that defensive back off of Grady Bresnahan so that Grady was able to squirt himself right into the end zone.
Bresnahan's 1st touchdown this season, his 6th this year. Chesvold stays busy and accurate. 12:44 remaining in the 1st half. It's 21-0. The Dragons are on top.
Libby here with another lesson.
Okay, gotta make a list. Pay cable bill, research car insurance rates, get groceries. And my student loan payment is due next week.
You look stressed. If you're worried about money, try riding that bus.
There is a bus stop pretty close to my job. I could give it a try.
Awesome. More conditioner?
Thanks a lot.
He learned his lesson. Join us and take the challenge to ride green.
Don, I'm sensing a theme with these Dragon touchdown drives.
5-play drive again. 5-play drive, 79 yards. Only a minute 29 seconds, and that's a Sinani to Bresnahan 8-yard touchdown pass. The 12:44 mark. It is now 21-0. Dragons leading the Northern State Wolves.
The Dragons outgained the Wolves last year. They had 418 yards to 345. This isn't about yards. This is about total domination so far. Colbreth is going to do that new fair catch, and I know you've got a intriguing look on your face. I think it was because he was running the wrong way. So he takes the fair catch and then gets 23 free yards.
Right. Okay. So he gets to go to the 20. Actually, they get it at the 25 on a fair catch inside the 10.
I don't know if it's inside
or is
the
it
10.
anywhere inside
That I don't know.
Okay.
I know I've seen the ball get spotted at the 25-yard line
Yes.
consistently,
Right.
but I think all
On
the
a fair
kicks have been
catch.
at least inside the 25. Because if you're at the 35-yard line, if they sky it straight up, fair catch.
Yeah, and then you've got it right there.
Yeah, you're going to get
Yep.
killed. This is Troutman, quarterback keeper, and he'll get tripped down from behind. Everything so far is working today that the Dragon offense and defense has dialed up. I think that was Gerald Smith. It was 50. One of these freshmen, he's from Boys Town, Nebraska. We documented that's where the great John Sterner came from. Him and his brother Sterner, legendary wrestling coach at MSU Moorhead. Troutman throws a good throw in traffic. That's a first down as he was about to get licked. And Jacob Strite just got a bullet.
And the linebacker, outside linebacker, Michael Strand on the coverage there. Great coverage. Just a really, really nice pass and catch to Straight, who is a tight end slash. Let's put him out at wide out. They move him in the slot.
A slash. Throw near side complete. Gobbling that ball up is Jelani Davis for a short gain. Good coverage that time by Doan. You see the scores rolling along the bottom of your screen. I saw Minnesota State Mankato up big. That's the #1 team in the country. I'd love to see Minnesota Duluth and Mankato. Boy, if they made it to the playoff. They're not scheduled to play in the regular season. You play them every other year. Here's a long throw downfield, and it's complete. You talk about going up and getting it. That's Dakota Larson as he out-jumped Taylor, and that's a first down. He looked like Richter.
Well, he's got the same kind of body makeup. He actually showed his prowess and his speed when he had that end around reverse earlier in the game. He has some good speed. That time, yes, perimeter play right on the sideline. He kept it both feet in. Not that he needs 2 feet in, but he kept them both in, and also came down with the ball in stride and was able to pick up an extra 7-8 yards after the catch.
Troutman rolling to his right. Sets up shop, throws downfield. He's got a man. Touchdown. Wide open in the end zone is Dakota Larson. That guy's got some wheels.
He took that skinny post and made it a wide post and went right into the end zone. There was a strike thrown by the quarterback for the Wolves right here. Across the body. Nice pass and catch for a touchdown for the Wolves.
Here's Schockert. He got a field goal blocked earlier today. This extra point, he'll punch through. So we'll take a break. Things have gotten a little interesting here. 10:53 remaining in the first half. 21-7, the Dragons have the lead.
Heading to Fargo Moorhead to get away and have a little fun? Book your room at the highly rated Microtel Inn and Suites. It's conveniently located just off 8th Street and I-94. Clean rooms and all the amenities you need to relax and recharge after a fun day out. Plus, when you wake up, you can enjoy a free hot breakfast. What are you waiting for? Book your room today at the Microtel Inn and Suites in Moorhead. Call 218-284-4022 or visit microtelmoorhead.com.
Don, off camera, you and I were joking. We were talking about 0-0 and Smash Mouth football and the Ralph Michelli and the Ross Fortune days, the golden years of MSUM football. Now all of a sudden, after another 5-play drive, Hunter Troutman hits Dakota Larson from 29 out. It's 21-7. Larry Scott, who had his streak broken last week, he ended his streak last week, didn't go to Duluth, ending his consecutive games of Dragons football at 528. That should be a number that should be a statue somewhere.
It's a big number.
Scotty, 528. Get to more after this. Wiedrick kicking off. He's got a pretty good leg. Bresnahan is going to make the fair catch at the 1-yard line. The Dragons will have it at the 25. But Scotty told me there was a football game last night. It was Elk River and Buffalo. 80-70.
Right.
Chad Walthall would be upset if the Dragon men gave up 70 points. 80-70 on the football field.
On the football field. That's ridiculous. That's no defense. I'm not
defense optional.
I'm not sure they put a defense on the field. I didn't see. I was looking for some more information last night. Couldn't find it. And then locally, there was a game that went into 5 overtimes.
Good stuff under the lights. This is Sinani again. Boy, he had me faked. I was watching Denver Colgrove go around left end, and here comes Jacob Sinani nonchalantly picking up 7
And that
yards.
is the blocking scheme too, Steve. You watch the up front, and you watch the zone blocking. They're all going left. That's where the running back's going. Defense flows, the linebackers flow. That leaves a great lane for Jacob Sinani.
So back in my day, that's a counter. That's a counter play.
Read option. I mean, yes, you could call it a counter, but by the quarterback
Everybody
doing
else
that,
is
sure.
going one
Oh
way,
yeah.
and the Dragons ball carrier goes another as Denver Colgrove. That's smash mouth. He went straight ahead. Got
Oh
4
yeah,
yards.
right up between the guard and the center. Exactly.
1st and 10, 21-7, 10-10 remaining, first quarter. This is Colgrove. Boy, that guy just puts his nose down, and he just barrels forward, and anybody with the guts to get in his way, like Preston Dressler out of Cuba City, Wisconsin, you're welcome to do so. I myself am going to ole.
Well, and he made contact with him after about 2 yards gained, but he picked up another 2. So that's 4. And if you do that 3 times, Steve, that's 12 yards, and that's a first down.
This is Zach Sweep. This is a speedster. He'll get to the 50-yard line. So you see him with these short passes for the young quarterback, Sinani, and he's getting the ball to 2 guys who can jet.
Oh, for sure. And like I said earlier, those passes are just like long handoffs. Long handoffs. Get them into the guys that are your playmakers.
This is Ty Jokum. He's hoping to be a playmaker. I got to see this guy. They call it garbage. Some people call it garbage time. It's never garbage time. This guy performed, and I think that's why he's getting some carries here today. Last week in Duluth.
For sure. He's a strong kid.
That's a good throw by Sinani also. And on second effort, that's Zach Sweep again. They're going to give him forward progress to the Northern State 43-yard line. Nifty little drive here by the Dragons, giving that defense some time to breathe.
Well, they slowed down the tempo just a little bit. Slowed down the tempo.
Trent Marquardt, number 19, into the ball game in a slot, second from the bottom. Sinani throws. What a throw by Sinani! He threw that inside of a needle eye to Jake Richter. That's
Double
one of the
coverage.
best passes he's thrown in his career.
Oh, that was threading the needle, Steve. What a beautiful throw.
Here's Sinani, hoping to get a look at that again as now flags are out. That was an Aaron Rodgers-like strike.
Yes.
Vikings fans are not going to like that.
False start.
But the
Offense
hole-
number
the
73.
hole was very
5-yard
small
penalty.
that
Still
he had
first down.
that he needed to penetrate to get the ball to his receiver. That was about 3.5 to 4 feet wide between the corner and the safety. On the cover, on the perimeter.
Oh, great job. Great job by our all-student camera crew. In between Brady Thielges and Etienne Ezef, one of the better cornerbacks in the league, and now more flags here at the 8:13 mark. Got a great play, and now some of this nonsense.
A little bit of slow up, and now
Timeout.
now
Northern
timeout.
State. Their third and final timeout.
A quick one on Ty Jokum. Ty Jokum, tough kid. He's getting his chance after showing some real good running ability up in Duluth last week. He's a straight-ahead type of kid. He had 10 carries, 63 yards last week. And I've watched this kid put up almost 1,300 yards in a season when he was a senior for the Fargo Davies Eagles. They won a state championship that year. He rushed for about 1,300 yards. He's a tough kid. He is the epitome of Dragon football. Between the tackles, smash mouth, bring it up, north and south running.
He might have been the unsung hero of that squad. That was, if I'm not mistaken, Ady and Tristan Hartness. They got all the publicity, but you can't throw it and catch it on every play. You got to have a running game as well.
And they had a great offensive line. They had some really talented kids on defense. And that team, Fargo Davies, Ty Jokum, did a nice job in the backfield. He was their workout horse.
A workout horse.
Workhorse. Workhorse.
Sonati throws it. And that's Denver Colgrove. That is a part of that smash mouth football that you just can't buy every day. Colgrove just bounces off people because he hits the weight room at 6 in the morning in the winter.
And he played tough football out at Richardson Taylor out by Dickinson. Tough kid out there, played a lot of football and played it very well.
I love that name, Denver. That's a running back. That's a tough running back. This is Denver. Denver with some speed. Denver plowing ahead for a first down.
Right? And there again, the offensive line did an awesome job up front where they did a little crossbuck, I don't know what you want to call it, but you crossbuck type of pattern where one guy filled for the other and they crossed over, pulled the linebacker out of the way, made a great hole, and Denver was able to take advantage of it.
Nathan Belial was one of those. I used the word crossbuck. I was thinking pancake because one of the Wolves went flying the other way. We have another flag, and Dan Fremling's going to tell us why.
Legal substitution on the defense. 5 yards, still first down.
So now that Dragon defense, Northern State has already taken a timeout on this drive, and now their third and final timeout, and now they can't get guys in on time.
They're getting
too many
tired.
guys in the huddle, yes.
They are. They're getting tired because of the pace and the heat today, humidity.
So it's 1st and 2. Boy, last week we had 3rd and 38. Now we got 1st and 2. Sonani with time, fires, touchdown. Zach Sweep went up and got it. That's Zach Sweep's first touchdown for the Dragons.
Excellent grab. Now, I can remember a play that I saw in highlights of Zach Sweep when he was playing for the Bismarck Century Patriots. He exuded that same great hand play, was able to go up and snatch that ball. Great athlete, a tremendous hurdler for the Dragons also in track.
This extra point's good, but we're not quite done yet. There's flags all over the field. I think Northern State knows.
Pretty sure they jumped off sides.
So let's wait for just a moment. A terrific touchdown drive by the Dragons. 11 plays, 75 yards. Chesvold's getting some head bumps, so I think this is against Northern State. And it is. So we'll step away with 7:18 remaining here in the first half. The Dragons back up by 21.
From the time you were little, bouncing off the walls, you were told, go do something. And so you did. Then one day you found yourself in a cap and gown. Now, go do something was an invitation. Or was it a challenge? Go with Midco. We connect you with powerful, innovative technology. That's the start. Your drive and vision do the rest. Go do something. Yeah, that's definitely a challenge. You and Midco. Let's go.
With Alex Nelson in the captain's chair in Alex Nemzik Fieldhouse, Steve DeStatio and Don Gruth, and our entire student-run operation here at Alex Nemzik Stadium. This is Zach Colbreth. He's going to step out of bounds. Colbreth didn't call for a fair catch. They're going to mark this ball at the 3.5-yard line.
He did not call for the fair catch.
That's not what Northern State needed. This is what the Dragons needed after a Northern State score.
No doubt, Steve. That last scoring drive, 11 plays, 75 yards, used up 3 minutes, 35 seconds, a 8-yard touchdown pass to Zach Sweep from Jacob Sinani. That is Zach Sweep's, now being here 3 years, his first touchdown for the Dragons.
Congratulations to him. He's played on both sides of the ball. He's played special teams. He's been one of those guys like Miles Montplaisir, the first ever recruit from Steve Lockway, picking from his home apple tree at Shanley High School. Miles, you're going to play quarterback. Miles, you're going to play linebacker. Miles, you're going to play on special teams. Okay, Coach, I'll do whatever you tell me to do.
I'll play tight end. I'll play whatever you need me to do to help the team.
I just want to play.
Exactly.
And now Sweep gets rewarded.
That's a great football player right there.
Troutman, handoff. This is Ness again. And he's going to get chopped down. This is trouble for Northern State. They're down by 21 again. They just showed some signs of life. The Dragons smash it right down their throats, and now they're in trouble with a 3rd and 10. 3rd and 8. Troutman out of the pistol, sends Ness in motion. Troutman a yard deep in the end zone, fires, and it's incomplete. Off the hands of Jacob Strite. He's hit Strite 3 times so far this afternoon. That's a great response by the Dragon defense.
And Strite is a great target. He had the first down yardage, but defense got a hand on it, and they had great coverage on that crossing pattern.
I think it was DeAndre Taylor.
Actually, it was Michael Strand coming over with that slot receiver.
This is Weidrich. A wobbler. And a great bounce by Weidrich. Well, he's kicked here at Nemzik before. This is a 50-yarder. That didn't look pretty, but he's going to walk back with his chest out. I just got off a 50-yard kick and helped my team out.
He got 20 yards, a good roll on that, but that's okay. That's what kickers do, and they are different breeds, right?
Hey. So the Dragons will start from their own 43-yard line. 6 minutes, 2 seconds remaining here in the first half from Alex Nemzik Stadium. You know what? It's not. I'm a little sweaty. I'm a sweater or perspirer, but it's humid, but the sun's buried by the clouds.
Yeah, the clouds are light, but they are keeping the sun's heat away.
Sweep in space. He'll get pushed out of bounds by Joe Gorkuber, but like you say, those quote-unquote extended handoffs, you can't really get in trouble either.
No, they could go incomplete, so you don't really get any yardage or anything, but that can happen on a trap play also, right up the middle.
Speaking of right up the middle, this is Zach Simons. Simons just lowered his shoulder and sent Brady Thiel just the wrong way. That's north and south, smash mouth, whatever you call it.
Simons, 6'1", 220 pounds, out of Neenah, Wisconsin, Xavier Catholic High School. Tough runner. Came here as a quarterback, folks. Yes, a quarterback who was 6'1", 220. Nice arm, but I'll tell you what, he's found his place in the backfield.
Doing this. He got hit at the 32-yard line. Again, he hits the weight room, sends Alex Gray the wrong way, gets 3 more yards, and that's a first down.
And it's a first down. Move the chains, exactly. This is the epitome of Dragon football.
Sinani played such a smart play. He knew he was going to get hit. Just get down, young man.
Live to play another play.
And that was Brady Thielgis who made sure he got to the ground. He didn't hit him hard. I think the message has gotten to everybody who plays defense at every level of football. You can't do anything harder than a kiss, or else you're going to get flagged. If you lead with your crown, you're going to get in trouble.
And you might not be. You might not be here on the field. You might be in the shower.
This is Colgrove. He gets grabbed by Noah McPherson out of Monaga, Minnesota. They got a nice golf course there. Blueberry Pines.
Blueberry Pines, exactly. Beautiful area.
So it's 3rd and 1.5. The Augusta National of Northwestern Minnesota. Here's an incomplete pass. That was of the ugly variety to Richter, who's admitting fault. Life is not about blame. It's 4th down.
He's looking at his gloves. Did you see that? Those gloves are so darn sticky, you don't have to wipe them off. They're just sticky. You know what? It wasn't a bad thing that he didn't catch it because he actually hadn't got far enough downfield to get the first down anyway.
So it's 4th and 2. From the northern 21-yard line. Colgrove. Close to a first down. It looks like, boy, he didn't get a great spot, did he? He did not get a very good spot at all. The tackle was made by Joe Gorkuber. He's been in on a lot of plays today for Northern State, but
head linesman, I think they're going to bring in the chains, and I think he'll have it by the nose of the ball, just from what I can see across on the chains. It's real close, though.
Well, you were talking about a different kind of refreshment you're going to have tonight. I'll tell you that MSUM is proud to have Sodexo as its dining services partner. Convenience, flexibility, and value are built into each dining plan. Visit mnstate.sodexomyway.com for all meal plan options, and thank you to our proud partner, Sodexo. I've eaten the Sodexo food at MSU Moorhead. It is terrific. It's really, really good stuff. If you send your son or daughter to MSUM, send them to Sodexo. We send you to Alexis Kennedy.
Hi guys, a little bit on this Dragon defense. Their main memo right now is to keep a 2-minute mindset, so keep pushing towards the end, but also they're looking for some trickery plays coming from the Northern State side. Guys?
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that the Dragons have to be, maybe not a middle screen or a side screen, Alexis, but you're exactly right. I think the only big play so far today, other than the touchdown strike to Dakota Larson, has come on a jet sweep, a double reverse. It's been a little of that
little trickery.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. And there is something that we haven't seen all half, is a screenplay executed very well by the Wolves.
They got 8.5. Here's Larson, or Troutman. He's going to get sacked. That's the first sack for the Dragons in 2.5 weeks. Oh, this is great. Porozinski, who left earlier today with an injury, in on the sack. Alexis, you're on your game today. She just webcasted volleyball against Bemidji State. Now she's out downstairs behind Bo Abraham. You want to get in the newspaper, hang around Bo. Great article written on Bo Abraham last week. Alexis is all over Bo. Here's 3rd and long. Troutman looking long, overthrown to Dakota Larson. This is going to bring up 4th down.
Great coverage by Taylor. Taylor again right in the hip pocket of the receiver. Not a whole lot of room. With Doan coming over from his safety position, there wasn't a whole lot of room for that ball to be caught by the receiver. The quarterback would have had to put it in a small window, and he just overthrew it.
Yeah, Larson has wheels, but he's not that fast.
Yeah.
So it brings up 4th down. This is Jacob Weidrich again. Weidrich's last punt traveled 50. This one is not going to travel 50. It gets another good hop, but this is going to be down to the 43-yard line. I'm telling you, Don, I was not a great punter. I played Division III. I was a backup punter to Bill Maurer, who could boom it with the best of them. That was a 15-yard kick. If we saw that again, when Jacob Weidrich put that ball out, I swear on my life, I saw that ball move a little bit. So he hit that ball off of his shin, not his foot.
That's not a good thing.
No, I don't see much.
You want it off the laces, don't you? Off your
shoelaces? You
don't
want it off your shin.
Your shoelaces.
No, Weidrich knows that.
Yeah.
Sinani throws near side. This is Harvey Turner. He'll get taken down by 44, Gorkuber. That guy's been everywhere. That's going to make Larry Scott happy. He's from Alexandria.
Gorkuber, one of their leaders on defense, and he does play sideline to sideline for the Wolves. He's a good, strong kid and a sure tackler. That is, he's shown that today.
Trent Marquardt will come in. I see Evan Moore, number 81, on the sidelines. Ty Jokum is in the backfield. So it's been Colgrove, a steady diet of Colgrove, Jokum, even Sinani. They get Bresnahan. There goes Grady, and he does what he does. He gets the first down. Braden McNeary out of Aberdeen, South Dakota will make the tackle. But Simons, Jokum, Colgrove, Sinani, it's all worked on the ground for the Dragons today.
Oh, yeah, and they've already racked up 161 yards
just on the ground.
Oh, yeah. It's amazing.
And that opens up this. That's Grady Bresnahan. He's got a touchdown after being cleared from a concussion 2 weeks ago. So he's back, and he looks good. The Dragons have weapons.
Oh, yeah. Pitch and catch on the perimeter with Grady Bresnahan, Jacob Sinani to him. Looking very, very solid today.
There goes Sinani. He'll stretch, and that's going to be good enough for the first down at the 15-yard line. Again, that read, my eyes went to the right as you watch the replay presented by Midco. Sinani went to the left.
And it sure looked like Jokum had that ball in his belly. Well, he did for a second.
He's got the ball in his belly this time, and he got a whole handful of Jacob Cross. 6'3", 250 out of Gilbert, Arizona.
Good defensive end play there. He just came crashing down to make the tackle on Ty Jokum. Jacob Sinani, Steve, doing a great job on that read option. Where he gets the lane is because of his fake.
Jokum again, bouncing into the end zone. Touchdown, Ty Jokum.
Tough kid, like I said, he runs north and south. That time was not going to be denied from about the 14-yard line. Takes that in.
How about the clock management, too? That happened with 39 seconds left in the first half. The sun is out and is shining brightly, not just on Shields Field, but on the Dragons here today.
Sun always shines on the Dragons.
Cheswold on for the PAT. On its way, and this one's good. Cheswold remains perfect. 39 seconds remaining in the first half. It's all MSU Moorhead.
This is Dragons Live.
This is more than a bundle. It's more than a combo deal. It's not just stuff. This is your home, your car. And you want to give them the protection they deserve. With home and auto insurance. State Farm agents get it. It's why they're here.
In Moorhead, talk to State Farm agent Dave Eggers.
Number 22 right there, seated to your right next to Trent Marquardt, Jake Richter's the Dragons' latest touchdown scorer, and another first collegiate touchdown for Ty Jokum.
Excellent job. The young man started his freshman year. He went up to Crookston, decided that wasn't the place to go to school, transferred down here to Moorhead State, and now he's playing for the Dragons. Nice to see the young man who loves the game of football. Know his dad. I know Ty personally. Just loves the game of football. He's a hard-nosed kid, and I'm glad to see him see some success on that.
Crookston's a great school. Great school. Football, they're struggling, but a great institution 75 miles to our north.
Oh, no doubt about it, and a great addition to the NSIC, and be, right in the middle of the NSIC whole footprint.
Joining the league in 1999. Here's Shaka Kelly. He's going to do what a lot of Wolf runners have done here in this first half, and that's not go very far in a hurry. Northern State is out of timeouts, so they might just get to the locker room. They have been thoroughly outplayed by the Dragons here in the first half.
No doubt. The defensive line of the Dragons and the linebackers have stymied this offense tremendously, except for that one drive. Outside of that, they haven't really accomplished anything today on the offensive side of the ball.
Halftime here in Moorhead. The Dragons lead Northern State 35-7. We now invite you to stay tuned for all of your halftime activities. An MSU Moorhead halftime news break is coming up, and then afterwards Don will be back with me. We'll have some first half highlights, stats, and a look around the NSIC. You're watching live coverage of Dragons football on WDAY Extra.
The mind is not a vessel to be filled, but a fire to be kindled. There's a place where teaching and learning are transforming lives, where relationships drive deeper, more meaningful exploration and discovery based on mutual respect and trust, where you'll discover who you are and what you can achieve when you head out into the world to make it better. Life is more than a journey. It is a chance to transform.
Today's Dragons Live coverage is brought to you by BSN, The Courtyard by Marriott, Herbert & Gerbert's, Richards Transportation, Shields of Moorhead, Shucks Bus Service, Buffalo Wild Wings, Forum Communications. Hello everyone and welcome to the MSUM Halftime News Break. I'm your host, John Webby Webking. On today's show, we're going back to Media Day to learn more about the men you're watching on the football field tonight. Here's head coach Steve Lockway.
All right, just want to touch base on a couple of things. First off, as a whole group here, as far as, I would imagine there'll be some questions as far as the quarterback position goes. I think that's been an exciting thing that we've seen in fall camp. I feel like we've got two really good quarterbacks, both that are able to play. Both, really for the most part, are unproven and really substantial game experience. Right now, Jacob has taken the reps with the first group after what he did in the spring. Bryce has been with the twos. I think coming off that ACL was a little bit, shaky week one. I think he's been a lot better this week, and so I think that early gap the first week is closed, and so we're not at the point where we would name a starter, but certainly, I would imagine as we get to game week, obviously we're gonna have to get to that point. But it's a case where I think both of them are playing at a high enough level that we could see both of them. They each have a similar skill set, but there's a few unique things that they each bring to the table that I think we can take advantage of. So from that standpoint, been pleased with that group. I think overall, this group, the exciting piece about them is they're kind of a bunch of no-namers that, you got to probably look at the roster a couple times. There's maybe no standout that catches everybody's eye, but I think they all kind of look around, and what's exciting is when we win games, they'll look around and they'll look at each other and go, we won it because of all of us in the room. And I think when you have a group that feels like everybody contributes and everybody has to play their best in order to win, I think you can get something pretty special. And so that's been fun to be around this group since really the end of last season, and I think it's built really well in the off season. I think we're getting where we need to be as far as that goes. Probably the most difficult thing then about this team becomes it's difficult to judge how good we are or how good we maybe aren't, as far as where that potential lands us, because I think there's so many intangible pieces at work with this group of guys that somehow they got that aura hanging over their head that I think somehow they'll figure out a way where 1 + 1 can equal more than 2, and so that's intriguing. It's different. I usually have a pretty good pulse on how good I think we are or where our deficiencies are, but this group has something different about it that we haven't had here in the 8 years that I've been here. So that's a lot of fun. So it's been a great group to work with. Camp's going well. Well, I think you want to kind of have a gauge on about where you're going to land as a football team. I don't know that there's any sense of necessarily fear about what could happen bad. I think I've learned lessons in life that you just don't live out of fear. You live out of playing aggressive, being aggressive, and if you do the right thing long enough, things are going to fall into place. And I think this group has been doing the right thing. I think they've been building connections with each other pretty well that they'll find a way. On paper, it might not look like it, but I think they're going to find a way, and that's, like I say, it's inspiring to be around a group of guys like that. Well, I think when you look at what our potential was last year and where we hit, that was the big, to me, in my whole coaching career and playing career, that was the biggest gap between potential and performance that there's been. And I think when you're around that big of a gap, you certainly got to look in the mirror and do some soul searching as a head coach, as coaches on the staff, as players. And you don't want to do that. And I've been a part of some teams that haven't been very good, but we've met our potential and maybe surpassed it. And so to not be able to do that last year, I think makes you really look and go, what went wrong? where were we off point, and how do we got to get that corrected and get it corrected really fast. And I think everybody had that same sour taste in their mouth. I don't think there was anybody in the program that was happy or comfortable with where we were. And so if you're a competitor, you look deep in the mirror, and I think we realize, hey, here's some lessons that we got to move forward with. And culture doesn't just run on its own. Team chemistry and bonding just doesn't happen. Those are things that you have to be intentional about creating, setting your ego aside and saying, you know what, we're gonna do this as a team. We're gonna figure out who's the guy next to me and what makes him tick, and how am I gonna make him better, more than just making myself better. And I think from the top down, I think we got a better focus on that this year. Well, I think what it did is got us back to the anchors that we had early. I think we drifted a little from our anchor and thought our culture was probably stronger than it was. There were some things that kind of we took for granted that we're gonna get handled. And, I don't know that it did last year, and so we went back to exactly the same recipe that we had when we started kind of rising this thing out of the dumpster. And I think it isn't anything that's super flashy or big. It's the little everyday things. Yep. You know, Rob, just the ultimate team player. You know, is on the offense. You know, which is where his strength lies. That's what he played as a college player, and excelled to the next level at that. And he's one of the original coaches as we've turned the program around, that as we had so much instability with our staff, he just kind of said, you know what, I can provide stability. Let's have me jump over to defense. Let me do what we can do until we can elevate the program, and then at the right time, we'll know what and we'll make the change. And I think we felt that was this year. I feel really good about our defensive staff and our defensive coaches. I think our defense is ahead of where it's been. It's continued to grow, and I think it's like riding a bike, getting back. I think Rob's been great with the offensive line. That's where he's at home and being able to work with those guys every day. And so I think that's by the end of spring ball, I felt like we were back to hitting in full rhythm with that. Well, I think that the unique thing about this season is graduating so many guys that were big names that played. There is no kind of sense of security of, hey, I have my playing time, I have my starting spot. This freshman could play, and I think it was a talented recruiting class, and we've seen some freshmen that really stepped up, gotten themselves into positions where we might be able to see them in game day. And so I think that keeps our current guys on edge. It just raises the level of every rep in practice.
Steve, you a fan of what the league did to change up its schedule? Now you start with interdivision games.
Yeah, huge fan of that. Something that has been talked about for a couple of years to be able to get it going. I think more from just a life and the balance for the student athletes. We play all night games for the most part in that first month. To not have to drive back from Wayne or Upper Iowa, leaving there at 10 in the morning and getting back at 5 a.m. I think it's much better. I like it from as far as we know who we're playing these first few weeks. You can prep, you can get ready, which is different when you're playing those South games. You only play them every other year. You don't have as good a feel for what it is. So I like what the league did, and I think it's good for us. Yeah, well, I think we've kind of flushed last year, and we did the autopsy on it. We learned what we needed to learn from it, and then said last year. It's time for us to flip the page and move forward. And so I don't think there's any reminiscing about, oh, we coulda, shoulda, woulda. I think we look at this team and go, hey, there's an unbelievable opportunity in front of us to be a really good football team, better than people think that we're going to be. Probably surpass what our potential maybe would allow. And to live in the future. We talk to our guys all the time, well, it's next play. We can't dwell on a mistake, you can't dwell on a bad game. We can't dwell on a bad year. What I've found is success is not a linear line. It's kind of, there's some peaks and valleys, and we just talked about it as a team yesterday. The real moment of truth in life, as a football player, as a student, as a husband, as a father, whatever, when you get to a valley, do you rebound and go back up, or you just keep going down? But those are your pivot points, and those are the points you look back at life on and probably have the most satisfaction. At least I know I do at life. I can look at some of the low points and go, if it weren't for that, this wouldn't have happened. And I think hopefully our guys in our program will be able to look back and say, hey, if it weren't for that dip there, we wouldn't be able to achieve what we're achieving right now. So it's a pivot point for us, and I think these guys understand that. That means that, you better be tough, you better find a way, and you better rebound off the floor. Yeah, I think if we meet our potential, if we can walk at the end of the day and go, you know what, we played as good as football as we can, regardless of how that little oblong ball bounces and you know, if they go our way or don't, but we can at least look and say, we showed up every day, we were prepared, we played as a team, we won together, we lost together.